When I was growing up, my parents used to tell me that nothing in life is free, and at that time I had absolutely no idea what they meant. I mean, all the food I ate was free, the cool new outfits I got for school were free, and it's not like I had to pay when Santa delivered me presents on Christmas Day. While those amazing privileges came at no cost to me personally, they did come at a cost to someone else, and that became significantly clear to me as they grew older. As an adult, it seems like even breathing takes money out of your pocket. The worst part is that very few people realize the extent of the costs occurring on a daily basis, and as such in this video, we are going to share with you the hidden costs that 99% of people overlook. One of the constant memories of my childhood was hearing my parents complain about money. Now, my family was far from poor, but we also didn't have 3 Lamborghinis parked in the driveway. So, this is all to say that my parents still needed to live a financially responsible lifestyle for us to be able to get by. I will be the first to admit that my parents did an excellent job at saving me from the harsh financial realities that came along with being an adult, and as such, I was never really understanding why money was such a point of contention for most people. However, that all changed when I got a little bit older and started to make money of my own. I still remember getting my first paycheck. It was both the most exciting and disappointing moment of my life. When I opened my first paycheck, and yes, it was an actual check, I saw my name in the hundreds of dollars to be paid to me. Now, I must have already had my accounting brain switched on, because most young adults would have been over the moon to come into that kind of money. However, all I could think of was how little I had received for tens of hours of my time. This sense of disappointment only got worse when I spent that money and realized that all that work could be eaten up by 1 or 2 routine expenses. It was at that moment that I came to appreciate why my parents were always complaining about gas prices, taxes, and the like. Money always goes out faster than it comes in, and little did I know that my understanding of this concept didn't even include all the costs most people overlook. You see, if you ask most people what their typical costs include, they'll say things like their mortgage and their groceries. In the mandatory bottom line, they must have to celebrate another week of work being finished. However, this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the cost most people incur, many of which will be forever blind to them. In fact, you may be incurring these hidden costs too, without even realizing it. Therefore, to ensure you are making the best financial decisions possible, let me share with you 3 hidden costs you need to be aware of and how to avoid them. And when you do, I can guarantee you'll be ahead of 99% of people you know. When you think of the cost of spending, it's natural to think of checking out at the grocery store, completing your online purchase on Amazon, or clearing your tab at the bar. These are some of the most common ways we spend our money, and as such are going to be the ones that are top of our minds when we contemplate our spending. However, beyond the dollars and cents that leave our pockets when we transact in this way, there are 2 other costs that come with spending that are just as important but most often go overlooked. The first is opportunity cost. If you're unfamiliar, opportunity cost is the loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. If this is the first time you're hearing this term, then let me share an example of opportunity cost in the context of spending. Let's say your mom gives you $100 for your birthday. After some deep contemplation, you decide that you're going to use that $100 to buy a new Xbox game. The benefit you receive from buying this game is the enjoyment you'll get when you play it. However, that decision did come with a cost. The cost in this case is a benefit you would have given up by deciding to buy the game instead of, say, spending that money to buy a cool pair of shoes for school or spending the money to go to a concert. Given that none of us have an unlimited amount of money, the finite nature of our financial positions forces us to choose between different alternatives, constantly giving up benefits from one decision for those we receive by making another. Well, there are people who are somewhat aware of the opportunity cost they are incurring when spending money on a regular basis. The second cost of spending is overlooked by nearly everyone. What is that second cost actually? The second cost of spending is the emotional cost. Have you ever had a rough day at work and just had to come home and soothe yourself with some retail therapy? You figure out that buying a new handbag or golf club would free you from your bad mood and get you back into a healthier mindset. You believe in this lie, You go ahead with your purchase and get that huge hit of dopamine which, as you hoped, it would put you on cloud 9. However, what typically happens after the novelty of that new item wears off? You guessed it, you're back to feeling like disappointed, but what's worse is that your wallet is also lighter than it was before, which, in turn, actually leaves you worse off than you initially were. Most people overlook how spending interacts with their emotions. I bet as they share this example, situations where you've done the same come to mind. I know I used to go through these emotional spending cycles all the time when I was younger, but as I started to understand the emotional cost of spending, it made me realize that no purchase could ever fix most of them. Simply acknowledging this alone has dramatically improved my financial position by allowing me to save a ton more money, and if you keep this realization in the forefront of your mind, then you too can start to benefit from this incredibly powerful piece of wisdom. I don't care what anyone says, making more money is by far the most impactful way we can start to get ahead financially. Now I know some people will fight me on this and say that without saving, you'll never get ahead, or without investing, your money will never grow. However, without earning, you can't save, nor can you invest in the first place. Not to mention, there's something incredibly gratifying about making money. It's not gratifying because you're seeing your bank balance go up whenever you get paid. No, it's a fact that you're providing value to others and they are recognizing that what you're offering is of enough value for them to give you money for your efforts. However, while I'm in full support of people going out there making more money, earning does come with its own set of costs which we will get into now. You see, to make money you need to exchange one of two things: money or time. Most people trade the latter through their 9-to-5 jobs. So, let's start with this basis when discussing the cost of making money. When you trade time for money, you are naturally going to be incurring a ton of opportunity costs, the term that you're well aware by now. The unfortunate reality is that most of us these days are trading 8, 10, 12, or even more hours at work every single day, and we are hopefully being compensated for this large investment over time. This time spent at work is detracting from a whole different way we could otherwise be enjoying that time. For instance, every extra hour you work could mean one less hour playing that new video game you've been dying to play, or one less hour spent enjoying some Netflix and chill time with your significant other. Keep in mind that these alternate ways of spending your time aren't necessarily going to be other income-producing activities. However, we can all agree that many of life's most enjoyable experiences aren't the ones that will align your pockets with more money, and every time you trade more time to make money, you're passing up on these precious experiences. Now for those who are into more passive ways, for example, through a manager-run business, you may not be giving up a lot of time to make more money, but will be deploying more capital instead. The second resource also comes with opportunity costs. All the money you spend buying products, employing workers, and paying for overhead is money that you can spend on yourself, your loved ones, and the like. Therefore, whichever way you find yourself earning more money, you are naturally going to be incurring a cost that may or may not be worth the trade-off depending on where your financial priorities lie. Isn't it interesting that no matter who you talk to, people will tell you that you must invest your money? In fact, some will even tell you what to invest in, whether that's real estate, a particular stock, or a hot new cryptocurrency that will have your net worth doubled by next week. It is funny that most people are eager to share their investing advice with you. If you ever share the costs that go along with this financial endeavor, so let me take a moment and share with you the aspects you need to be aware of. The first cost of investing is the risk you assume when handing over your money to buy any particular asset. As you know, if there is no risk, then there is no reward, and whenever you're aiming at a return, there's a chance that you can lose the money you've invested. Obviously, the risk level for different assets will vary from the high risk associated with penny stocks to the lowest you assume when buying government bonds, but each asset's risk does need to be assessed because that risk, you're assuming, directly ties to the second cost of investing, which we'll talk about now. The second cost you incur when investing is the emotional cost. If you've invested in stocks that have a near heart attack situation in the markets on a bearish day, then you can attest to the emotional roller coaster that a single stock investment causes. In the best cases, this emotional turmoil will lead to a sense of unease, but in other cases, it can prompt you to panic sell, or act on greed, which is a cause that is not expected to work in your favor. Finally, we have learned a new financial term in this video, which is opportunity cost. Whenever you invest in one asset, assuming you don't have an endless supply of money, you're giving up an opportunity to invest in another. For example, if you buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, that's $10,000 worth of Ethereum you've given up on buying. As a result, now the decision to invest in one asset over another may be better or worse depending on how things turn out. But regardless, this is a cost you will continuously incur for as long as you invest your money. Thank you for your time. If you believe this video has added value to your understanding of finances, don't miss to like and subscribe.